Hello there. I'm going to share a poem that I recently wrote with you because that's been a big creative outlet of mine recently called What About the Children? There once was a boy named John. He liked to play with his best friend and he loved his mom, but he wasn't sure if he loved the name John. It was a perfectly fine name and he seemed to answer it okay, but when people called him John, it just felt wrong. But he didn't know quite how to say something about the name and how it put him in a frame, and it made people treat him a certain way. So he talked to his friend and he talked to his mom about how he felt about being called John, and they talked to a doctor and a therapist too. And a solution everyone agreed on. Instead of John, we'll use a new name to be called upon. And they all settled on a new name, and as a result, John became Jane. But more than just a new name, he would become she. A new gender was their aim. Because what was thought to be a boy once had changed. As a girl, she felt far less pain. And that was the end. Or it should have been. But what happened next instead was insane. Some parents at the school found out about this new little girl called Jane, and they formed a protest group. "We must protect the children," they exclaimed. And they stood outside the building. "Little boys can't become girls." That's what they claimed. And all of this commotion confused everyone, especially the newly named Jane. What was all the fuss about? Why were people so mad over a name? They accused her of such awful things, said she was doing it for fame. And all she did was what those who loved her felt best, and now she felt shame. All these people who don't know her and don't care to, attacking her with such hate, ruin the lives of her friends and her family, and they push her to an avoidable fate. Depression and self-loathing, tortured by people lacking love, and like 1,000 other kids, Jane is pushed to give up. Feeling so defeated, Jane doesn't talk to her mom or her friend, and she doesn't call the doctor because she just wants it to end. And she walks to the bridge in the middle of the night, crying, scared. She sees no other way, and she overcomes her fright. She takes a step off the edge, disappearing forever from the light. And the next day they found her body broken upon the ground, a little girl that was once a little boy, but now is lost and will never be found. A shattered mother and a grieving friend, and this is just one of many stories with the same end. People who ruin lives in which they should have no say, casting their venom at children who just want to play, and teaching their children to hate them and make sure they tell them every single day. And none of them care about the suffering they cause or the pain, as long as they make sure that there are no little boys called Jane.